This is Between Hook Sets. I'm Jason Walter from In Through the Outdoors with my partner in slime, Kurt Underhill from the Fishing Crew.
Oh boy, technical difficulty.
Yeah.
I don't like technical difficulty. It drives me insane. This digital world is something else.
Well,
But
when you got a tournament director and a radio host trying to do video stuff, this is we bumble through it the best we can.
yeah, you know what? You have to too. You just have to roll with the punches and fly with it. And speaking of fly, and I just flew in from Bemidji, and boy, are my arms tired. No, I'm not kidding you. I literally walked downstairs at 6:54. I turned my computer on in my pickup so it'd be ready to roll. I plugged it in, and boom, no camera, no microphone, and that's okay. I'm excited about our guests tonight. I ran into Matt from Omnia Fishing. We had lunch, we talked, and I thought they would be great guests tonight. So Tilo and Matt are with us. Matt Hamilton. There's a Matt Johnson as well. They are with us tonight, and we're going to talk about this awesome thing called Omnia Fishing. I think people in our neck of the woods, you know, all of the big dogs, you know, all the people that follow Seth Feider and all those guys use it. But the little old angler like me and you know, that just goes out fishing, just does the, you know, everyday run of the mill fishing. We really need to use Omnia Fishing as a tool. And we're not tied to Omnia Fishing at all, but I think these guys are awesome. So let's bring them in and let's get to talking about this. Matt, Tilo, how you guys doing?
Good.
Doing great.
Fantastic. I'll tell you what, Matt,
for having us.
It's great to have you here, both of you. I love your product. I have loved it for a long time. I reached out to you guys maybe a year and a half ago to let you know how awesome I thought Omnia Fishing was, because it's a great tool for families, for dads who want to take kids out fishing, for young kids that are just getting started, and even for, you know, even those that are actually really good fishermen. I mean, it's for everybody, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the idea. We try to make it so that anybody who wants to get better or just be more successful can get into the products and the knowledge that they need to have a better time on the water. So that's the goal. That's what we're about.
Well, I like it because I can put my fishing reports in, and I wish I could get connected to my computer because I had everything ready to roll there. And I was going to show everybody how easy it was to put things in, to put your own fishing report in. I like it because I can put a report in for Lake Sinai. I can put a report in for Thompson. Now, I might choose to not put in my secret smaller lakes because those are some things that I'd like to keep to myself. But when you've got a big, huge lake, like Lake Thompson, Lake Poncet, Mille Lacs, Bemidji, you know, it was fun fishing Bemidji this week. It really gives people, and the more people that share their reports, the better, because it gives people an opportunity to find out what tackle's working and when and how. So explain how Omnia works.
Sure, I'll take a shot at it, and Trevor, you can correct me when I get it wrong, but we're an online retailer, so we carry about 20,000 SKUs in our product line, and we actually have the warehouse in Minneapolis, so we ship it all direct. And in addition to being an e-commerce store, we collect info on lakes. So we've got over 100,000 lakes in our database, and we get fishing reports from local anglers. So aside from giving people a chance to read those reports, we get to learn the baits and the gear that the local anglers are using to have success. And then we turn that into product recommendations. So when you come on the site as a consumer, you can tell us where you're going and what you want to fish for. And then we can serve up really realistic recommendations that are going to give you the best chance at having success given the conditions on the lake, and all based on the local anglers' reports on what's working.
Now, Trevor, I wanted to show everybody your profile And unfortunately, I can't get hooked up to that. So tell us about your profile and what you're doing and your followers and how people can follow you and learn more from you and your reports.
Yeah, everybody that files fishing reports on our site, we bring them on as ambassadors, is what we call them. So once you file 5 fishing reports, you get upgraded to what we call the silver level of the ambassador program. And from there, you have a public profile where people can follow you. They can sign up to receive email alerts so that whenever you file a fishing report, they get an email notification. So this is huge for influencers, content creators, fishing guides, all those different kinds of anglers in our community. And they're able to, get their content in front of people, whether it's, fishing reports, you can include videos in your fishing reports and that sort of thing. When you're recommending products and hot baits in your fishing reports, all of that gets compiled in your ambassador profile as well. So you can click on a specific tab in the ambassador profile that says, products, and you can see all of your recommended products. So, rather than having to explain every single one of them to, let's just say, somebody in your audience member, you can say, hey, go to my Omnia ambassador profile. I've got links to all my favorite baits on there. And you can, it's as easy as adding to cart straight from the ambassador profile.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. It's so easy to use. It is very user friendly. You search through how many baits and lures and things do you guys stock?
Boy, I'd have to ask our merchandise guys for the exact count, but like I say, we have over 20,000 SKUs, including things like rods and reels. So I don't know what percentage of that is baits, but it's a lot. And it's been interesting to note that it gets quite different about what people are using in our lakes up here in our neck of the woods versus what people use down south in Florida or over in Texas. And even within a state, from one region to another, there's quite a bit of variation on what people are using and having success with based on what's going on in the lake, the structure and the size and so on. So we have to cover a lot of ground to try to keep everybody happy.
Now, are when people put these fishing reports in there, probably date and time stamps, so you can look at a spring bite compared to a summer, compared to a fall bite for most of these guys that are putting the fishing report out there. And guys traveling to other lakes, this is huge. I mean, this is absolutely huge that you can look at a lake and know what to pack.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. We try to make things as user-friendly as possible for people that are potentially fishing a lake for the first time, or people that have some experience on a lake, but maybe they fish it in the fall and it's springtime and they want to know what's popular in the springtime, given a different season. They can get bait recommendations, technique recommendations, the most reported techniques, and the most popular baits that go with those techniques, along with the the rod and the reel, just so if somebody has never thrown a drop shot before, but that's the most recommended technique, we are able to showcase them the products down to the specific action of the rod, as well as the reel size, the reel speed, all that sort of stuff.
We did a little mid thing camera change there from Jason over there.
Well, you want to talk about rinky dink? I'm sorry, but I thought if I can get connected back up here, then I can give some people a few screenshots and we'll be able to give you an idea of what's going on. And I think it's kind of important to share the look and get that for folks. When I was fishing on Bemidji, we were catching perch with Northland's tungsten jigs, and you got them on Omnia Fishing. This is actually a part of my report that I shared, I think on Tuesday night. And I want to give a big shout out to Northland Tackle because they were sponsors. You guys carry the Northland Tackle line. You've got all that stuff. Greg Woolner and Charlie Peterson were there. Sam Larson, Brian Brosdahl was there. Joe Nelson was there. Rick Lindner was there. And it was great to have those guys around and to be able to chit chat with them. But they really have a mainstay in the industry. And now that they've gone to tungsten, things are really changing for them. They're coming out with some smaller tackle. I got a preview of the 2024 catalog for open water, and I'm psyched. It is really cool. They've added some new stuff for hard water as well. So excited about that. You guys work with how many different companies like Northland Tackle?
Ooh, it's hundreds for sure. Do you know, Trevor, what the number is these days?
No, not off the top of my head. I mean, there's so many different, vendors
Yeah.
based off of, what kind of products they make, whether it's rods, reels, baits, hooks, weights, jig heads, skirts, it's all over the board.
And this is, I mean, I was talking to Matt beforehand. This is a fairly new company. This is an infant in the industry, basically, for what you guys got going on. And to be at 20,000 SKUs in a couple of years, yeah, I know it doesn't take much, but you're probably not bringing every manufacturer on. It's got to be some sort of testing. I mean, I'm just taking a guess at this, that you guys are looking at product testing before you're actually bringing this stuff on. And
yeah, I mean, thankfully, around Omnia, we have a bunch of fish heads that know the industry, and so we're pretty choosy with the brands that we like to carry, including Northland. It's great. We had to carry them for sure. Our local fans here demanded it. But as a young retailer, it's kind of interesting. We had to convince a lot of the brands that we were worth allowing to buy, especially in those years when supply was super tight. So that's been a journey just to earn the reputation that we built up in those few years for, yeah, we can actually turn this stuff around. And selling online is a different animal, but we have a unique way of doing it. And thankfully, people have latched onto the idea. So our brands have come around and are a little bit more excited about taking our phone calls when we're ready to place a new purchase order.
Well, it's interesting when you say shopping online. I think more people are shopping online anyway. It seems like, I run into people like, oh yeah, I grabbed some stuff off of Amazon. I mean, you bought tackle on Amazon, or Tackle Warehouse or wherever. And Omnia is in Minnesota. So shipping is relatively quick, isn't it? I hear Hellabass, Rich Lindgren, talk about how quickly he gets stuff.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we found that people really respond to. So we ratcheted down the production standards so that now if you place an order before 1 p.m. Central Time, we turn it around in the same day. So it'll go out the door that same day. And like I said, depending on where you live, it can really show up fast after that. So people really, like that and appreciate it. The other thing that we did that was really instrumental in our growth is we have what we call Omnia Premium. And it's a membership club. It costs $29 a year. And for that, you get free shipping on any order size. So even if you just need a bag of soft plastics, you can get that shipped out free. And it also earns you 10% back on all your purchases. So for that segment of angler that's buying tackle and gear frequently, it's kind of a no-brainer to say that you're going to earn a chunk of that order back and have that as a credit that you can use on whatever you want from the store.
Yeah, see, this whole story just gets better, doesn't it? Yeah. Trevor, I'm guessing that's part of the reason that that you're part of the organization and part of this group. It works, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I've only been at Omnia for a little over a year now, but just from the inception, and I've been in touch with leadership there, along with our head of merchandising, Pete. Polish Pete is what he kind of goes by on social media. But he's a big name in the industry. He's got a lot of connections and relationships, and I think that kind of goes hand in hand with us being able to bring in vendors and be somewhat choosy with who we want to have in terms of for product in our inventory. So but yeah, I think it definitely works. You hear tons of people saying good things about Omnia and how fast product gets to them. They can order something on Tuesday and have it to their door Friday morning before their tournament on the weekend. So it's good to hear that, and customer testimonials are always I guess the best way to prove that what you're doing is working. So yeah, all good news for sure.
Well, unlike
what they're using,
the other brands, like you said, you guys are giving reports, to the lakes, and you can zone in on Lake Oahe or Ponset or whatever. And that makes it so unique that nobody else is doing that. And you guys can put it out there, and guys, like I said, my tournament guys can look at a lake and go, well, I don't have this, this, and this. And according to the reports, this is what I should have in my take with me. You know?
Yeah, that makes it a little different. And sometimes we have a hard time explaining that to people that just kind of imagine a traditional e-commerce store. But we're hoping that it just helps people, especially that don't have all that knowledge already, if they're exploring a new lake or just want to get some ideas about what else to try. Not only can you read the reports, but if you indicate what species you're interested in, where you're going, that follows you throughout the shopping experience. And if you go in and start to explore, say, grass jigs as a category, if we know that you came from a certain lake and you're interested in a species, we'll serve up different results for you and highlight the ones that we say, given the water clarity of this lake, we really recommend this color and this variation. These weight sizes are going to work best for the species in your lake. So it takes that 20,000 SKU mountain of products and narrows it down to the ones that should be the ones that you'll have most success with.
Well, it kind of takes the guesswork out of it. Here's an example of my Bemidji report. So it's just the page. There isn't a whole lot of detail there. I didn't share anything beyond the fact that it's the fall season, of course, and I was catching perch along submerged vegetation, and I was vertical jigging. And then if you actually get into the report, it will share the tackle that I used, and it labels whether it's a hot bait or not. So if you're getting that hot bait, that's something you should probably put in your cart and get if you're going to fish that lake. And it really ties things together. Here's just a part of my profile.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 15 lakes. I have 7 different species that I like to fish. I have 23 favorite brands. So it's really neat that you can put all that stuff together in your profile. Other people can see it, but you've got it there. So, it's a virtual tackle box for, or even file cabinet for anybody that's out there doing the fishing. You click on one of your lakes and you're looking, let's say, here we've got Lake Ponset with Lake Albert, and then we've got Mary and St. John there as well. So you could tell there's quite a few people that have had reports there. So if you're going to Ponset, you click on them and you get the information that they're sharing, and you go into it with some knowledge beforehand. If you've never fished the lake, I think that's it. It's priceless. There's just a ton of value there for free.
Yeah, and I noticed how you figured out a way to squeeze in a picture of yourself in your perch.
Yeah.
So nice work on
Yeah,
that.
let me show that again. So yeah, okay. So I'll always show a picture because I want people to see the fish. That was an 11-inch perch,
Mhm.
but just the way I was holding it, I was holding the Tom Wynn. I love Tom Wynn's black tungsten jig. I love to use it. But then I'll also give a screenshot. We were on Cameron's bar here, and we were working that bar, and it's a little hard to see in this screenshot, but I did put a little red line in there so that if somebody is going to go out and they've not been to the lake, at least when they look at the report that I'm sharing, they know where I was fishing. They could see that I had fish. And if you look at the picture, you could tell it's not a dinky little 3 or 4 inch perch. We did catch a fair amount of those, though. That system is full of yellow perch, and it's pretty awesome. But, you look at all of that stuff and you're armed with all kinds of information and products, and you can just get out and fish. I have to brag on this a little bit because I picked one of these babies up this week, and I am so pumped. I got to cast it, and I thought it was the smoothest thing in the world. Now, something that comes from St. Croix for $120 on the Omnia website has to be worth it. It has to be worth it. But you guys you've got all kinds of equipment there as well.
Yeah, that's right. We like the St. Croix guys are great, and they live close enough. We went out there to see how they make a lot of their gear, and they are not willing to put their name behind something that they haven't really put through its paces. So we came away really impressed and had the same kind of reaction to the 7 line. They got the work cut out for them to debut some new equipment, but man, that team over there takes quality very seriously for sure.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But you've got other lines. Talk a little bit about Seth Fighter, the Fighter Man. People just love that guy, and he's not only is he a customer, he's an owner.
Yeah, that's right. Trevor, you want to talk a little bit about Seth and what he does for us?
Yeah. I mean, you can't really say Seth without kind of chuckling because his character is huge. But no, he's to your point, yes, he is part owner of the company. And beyond that, he's just a huge huge name here, especially in the upper Midwest and obviously around the country as well, as he's really built up his platform through the Bassmaster Elite Series. But he's incredible to work with. He's always willing to come back to HQ and film whatever kind of content we need. We're actually going to be on the water with him a week from today, filming some more content. So all this stuff goes straight onto our site and our product detail pages, as well as various pages across the site, so that when somebody is looking to make a purchase on a product, there's content to support it, so that they know what exactly they're getting into, whether it's this kind of a reel or this particular chatterbait or soft plastic. But yeah, Seth is he is kind of the face of Omnia. It seems like everything that we put out that has his name or his image tied to it just exponentially does better. So he's very, very valued at Omnia for sure.
I'm a little concerned that you might make him wear a suit in the boat, though. You're not going to go that far, are you?
I don't know. I think it's cool to show off another side of Seth. That business side of Seth, and what his role is at Omnia. But if he's in the bass boat, I think he's gonna stick to being in his Sims clothing and his hair and his hat and everything like that. So
you're right, though. It really is. The very first time I saw him take us on a tour of Omnia, walking in the front door with a suit on and no hat, I'm like, is that Seth Fighter? Wow, dude cleans up, so it's pretty neat. I think it's amazing what you guys do. I have a ton of passion for the product. I have to admit that I kind of forgot about it over the winter, even into summer, because I've been struggling to catch fish, and I have figured out what it is. It's forward-facing sonar. It's scaring the fish away. I mean, it's keeping fish away. I literally have, I've got evidence of that, and I may share that later on. It's not a big thing. I'm going to still use forward-facing sonar, but it is keeping fish from under my ice house in the winter, and I found that was my biggest problem. So I haven't been catching fish. I didn't think about Omnia. And frankly, I thought about it a couple of weeks ago. And then coincidentally, I ran into Matt at the Aglow conference, and that really just drummed up my passion again. I just think it is a fantastic product, and I personally want everybody to know about it. And I'm going to continue to tell people about it, because I do have people that will ask, are you catching fish? Where are you catching fish? What do you use here? What do you use there? And I'm just going to suggest getting the Omnia app. You can get the app for free, right? But then you can upgrade to the premium for the $29.99.
Yeah, and just to walk through that, you're right. You can get the fishing reports are all available for free, and the info on the lakes. We do have that special shipping program that we call Premium for $29. And then the new thing for us that is just a few weeks old now, we're calling it Omnia Premium Pro. And that's a separate service that offers map layers. So we give you current condition information on thousands of lakes across the U.S. So if you want to see the current water temperature gradient on the different parts of the lake, water clarity levels, readings, depth, bottom composition, and wind and weather, it's all there in the app. So that's kind of a separate option for you if you want to be a member of Premium Pro.
So this is really a very technical and sophisticated tackle company. This ain't just or a distributor. This ain't your run of the mill buy your tackle. I'm learning stuff tonight. I am familiar with Omnia, but wow, to get the map layers and to do all that stuff, nobody else is doing that. And anybody who tries to catch up, they've got a big learning curve. I got a feeling to catch up to where you guys are at. And that is pretty incredible to hear that you can get all those things on your phone. I mean, that's insane.
Well, and I think if you pair it with the Navionics app or the Lake Master, or rather now they're calling it the One Boat Network, or the Lowrance app, and you've got your maps and you've got the Omnia at your fingertips. Let's look back at this one. You know, when you're talking about overlays, you see all of these dashed green lines on here. You know, that's the wind. I think when I took the screenshot, it was coming from the southeast, so heading to the northwest. So I had an idea of how fast the wind was, and all of that information is right there, and it's fantastic. And the cool thing about it, you don't have to bring up the Weather Bug app and have that one open, and you can simply pick your lake on Omnia and you get the information you need. And then you can mark on the lake as well, right? So you can put waypoints and put different marks on that map, and you save it, and it's not shared among the community. It's only for you. You and your profile is private, correct?
Yeah, we try to be very clear that we don't share spots or encourage that in our community. The fishing reports are about the gear and the technique that you're using, not your spots. And the app, the functionality in the app is pretty robust now, but we're also working to improve it steadily. So you talked about pairing it with other technology. We've got some additional layers and new functionality that are in our back pocket that we'll be releasing over the next few weeks. That'll be pretty exciting. So still very much a evolving product, and we're looking for feedback on all the different use cases that you want to see. But we've got some good things coming around the corner.
I'm excited about it. Maybe one more quick note about picking your favorite lakes. If you think that Omnia doesn't have your secret little lake, you guys have a lot of lakes there. I know I've got a few of my little secret puddles that I didn't think would be on Omnia, and they're there. They may be listed as unnamed, but if you know where they're at on the map, you can find that and choose that, and you can put that in your profile and save it as a favorite. I think that's a big deal. Yeah, fantastic. Well, I'll tell you what, fellas, it's been great to have you on. Sorry for the technical difficulty, but in this digital world, sometimes it just happens. So I appreciate you hanging out and giving us the time and sharing the knowledge and sharing the app and giving us another opportunity to hit a lake armed with information that we all know works, because the report is there and that information is shared for that lake and that spot. And I think it's amazing.
Outstanding. Thank you. Thank you very much for having us. Appreciate it.
Betcha.
Yep.
Matt, thank
Appreciate
you.
your guys' time.
Trevor, thank you. All right. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Kurt. Well, you know what? That was fun. That was a very good time. I'm very glad that I got to run into Matt and that we got to have him on. It is something different. You know, it's something different and exciting.
I learned a lot tonight because I've seen what Omnia is. I've heard about it earlier last year, and just with what I do, I don't buy much tackle. I buy too much tackle for what amount I fish, but this is incredible. This is not just your tackle shop. And I learned a lot tonight with having these guys on, and anybody that hasn't, that didn't follow on, I mean, I hope they watch this because they're going to learn a lot.
Yeah, no doubt. So here's the deal. Google Omnia Fishing and go get the
Why don't
app.
we just put a comment in we'll put a link in the comments for everybody.
No
check
doubt.
it out.
Awesome. All right. That's it, folks. Have a great